Pass Around the Smile is like your go-to friend, the one that lifts you up and backs you till the end. She's there to guide and inspire, challenge and teach, and remind you that your best self isn't out of reach. Self-development, manifestation, self-love and more, it's time to trust the process more than ever before. Welcome to Pass Around the Smile, the podcast. I'm your host, Cleo Massey, and I am so glad you're here. Let the magic begin. Hello and welcome back to the Pass Around the Smile podcast. I feel like I say this every single time when we start, but I'm so excited for this episode. This episode is going to be a really exciting one. I want to have you feeling all magical. I want to have you feeling really optimistic and open to the opportunities and the possibilities that are waiting for you, because it's just so refreshing to do so and just to feel into the magical energy that is available to us all. And I'm going to be talking all about how creating space and actually making room can help you effortlessly manifest. I think that's what I'm really leaning into lately for me, being a new mum. I need to effortlessly and really easily manifest because at the moment I don't have too much spare time to actively manifest, if that makes sense. So actively sit down and do the journaling, do a long meditation where I'm visualizing, take the inspired action when I get that inspirational hit. I can't really do that because if, Indigo's crying or if I've got, baby sensory or whatever it is, I can't take inspired action right then and there, or I can't sit down and meditate and get my thoughts out onto paper. So what I've been feeling really excited about is the do less, attract more, which I've talked about before. I have an episode on, Gabby Bernstein likes to say it, and it feels right. We get to do less, or we get to attract more. We don't have to hustle. We don't have to put pressure on ourselves. We don't have to push to make the good things that we want to happen. We actually get to relax and have fun and enjoy the process of manifesting our desires. And when we do relax, have fun, and enjoy the process, that is when our desires come to us quicker and easier than ever before. It's so exciting. I've also got a few personal stories in this episode which I think will inspire you. And let's get into it. But first, let me quickly talk about today's sponsor, the Natural Bedding Company. You may have heard about them before. They've sponsored the podcast before. I've posted about them on Instagram before. They are so good at what they do and they take a lot of pride in what they do. They've actually been around for 40 years, so they are very trusted, especially in their industry of handcrafted mattresses and bedroom furniture. And each piece is made and finished in their own Sydney factory workshop, which I think is really cool. They also have the cutest showroom on the Gold Coast. You go into all these different rooms and they have them set up all nice. So not only do you get all these interior design ideas, you also get to feel and lay in their mattresses. Oh, their mattresses are out of this world. Not only are they so comfortable, but they're all made with natural and organic materials. It's healthy bedding, which I think is really important because we literally sleep in our beds every single night. And I don't know about you, but I'm so quick to spend money on maybe like an outfit I will wear once to a wedding and then never again, or maybe on, I don't know what we spend money on, holidays or just random shopping trips on things that I don't necessarily need but maybe want. But what about the mattress that you're sleeping on every single night? They make very good ones. I got a cot mattress from the Natural Bedding Company for Indigo's cot, and I have absolutely been known to climb in there with her and have her afternoon naps with her. And my gosh, the mattress is so comfy. But when you can just tell that something is made so well, like it's handcrafted, it's made with good stuff, it feels good, it seems bougie, Are you feeling me? Anyway, the Natural Bedding Company, beautiful Australian company, amazing furniture, amazing bedding, actual beds, frames, bedding as well, like as in sheets. They've got so much stuff. I'll pop their website in the show notes and head into their Gold Coast showroom if you can. It's so beautiful. All right, getting right into this magical episode. So like I was saying before, I think it's such an exciting prospect and idea when we talk and think about how we can manifest so easily. Because in the past, when I have manifested really cool things, very often it hasn't been from following that step-by-step process, which I really like doing the step-by-step process because it's fun, it's enjoyable. If you want to know more about how to actually do the traditional steps of the law of attraction to manifest your desires, go back to, I think it's episode 2 or 3. But so many times I've manifested things simply just from visualizing the thing, or simply just from journaling about the thing, or simply just from, I don't know, taking an actionable step that all of a sudden manifests into this beautiful synchronicity that brings my desire into fruition. Looking back for me, I think it makes me realize how easy it can be. And I think we can overcomplicate things with the do's and don'ts, the typical steps to follow. Don't do this, do that. But really, at the end of the day, it's just energy attracting energy. Now, keep in mind, there will be manifestations that you have over your lifetime that are harder to achieve than others for many different reasons, and I go into that in so many different episodes. But creating space and making room for your manifestations to materialize is just another thing that we can do on its own or in conjunction with other manifesty steps to attract our desires. Now, I'm not saying this to promote laziness, because I do really believe that working passionately hard for something and taking inspired action is so important, but we can be taking inspired action toward, let's say, a career, for example, and because we are vibrating high and essentially surrendering from our manifestations of, let's say, buying a new house, for example, that could simply manifest so effortlessly in the background because you are vibrating so high in another area, and that is spilling over. Like the energy is spilling over. It's doing the hard work for you. You are also distracted, so you're not taking control of the other desire. So I think that is something that we can also do where we allow it to be a little more easy and fun for us. I guess what we're doing here is really practicing the art of surrender. And I really do feel that when you surrender, it can be one of the most powerful ways to manifest your desires. But to surrender when you want something so bad is really hard. So why don't you try this? So I'll just use the example I just used. So let's say that you are working toward something in your career, but you are also wanting to manifest a new home. Pick one or the other. So in this case, we pick the career to focus on, right? We're really, really focused on moving up in our career, doing things that feel good. We're visualizing our boss telling us that we got the promotion. We are, feeling grateful for every step, every little thing that we do in our job. We're buying ourselves new outfits to feel into the new corporate version of us who feels powerful. We're doing all the things that generate really good energy and feelings of happiness and pride within our career. And we're so focused on that, we're not thinking about anything else. But before we've moved into this, we had the intention of buying a new home. So let that energy spill over effortlessly, and the buying the new home will just come because you've essentially surrendered. You're not controlling that desire anymore. Sure, you might run into small obstacles in the way of your career because you might be focusing so hard on that. You want it so bad that you're not surrendering in that way. But focusing on the things that make you feel good about the career desire, the good energy. It's all about building the good energy up, letting that spill over and effortlessly working its magic over here without you knowing or doing anything, bringing the perfect house to you. So pick 2 things that you want and play a little game with the universe. See if you can make it work for yourself. And then what you're doing is you're teaching yourself the art of surrendering, but you're also doing less and attracting more because you are focusing on one thing, yet essentially you are getting 2. You're getting the career and you're getting the home in this example. So as I mentioned before, making room and creating space for your manifestations to materialize can be one of those things that you do that create your desire for you, that brings it into fruition, So it could be visualization, it could be meditation, it could be a mix of the 2, or it could literally just be creating space and making room. So let me give you an example. I used to be in my brother's old bedroom for my Pass Around the Smile office. The second I moved into my old room, when my brother Joey moved out, which is half a big garage, the energy changed and more orders came in straight away. I had more room for stock. I had more room to take content for social media. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely did not need all of this space at the start. So I was squished in my brother's room, but I could have I could have stayed in there and made it work. But how am I letting the universe know that I'm ready for expansion, that I'm ready for growth, if I'm in this tiny room, this cramped room where I can't order more stock, I can't take good content because it's all messy and small, and there's old posters of Biggie Smalls on the wall because that's what my brother had on his wall. Whereas when I moved into my old room, which was his room, anyway, you don't need to know that. He moved out. I got to move into my old bedroom, and everything began to effortlessly flow in more ways than I could have imagined, in more ways than it ever did when I was in that small room. I didn't need all the space. I had all of these empty shelves. I had empty space. It was quite empty, right? But that was me saying to the universe, I have room for more and I'm ready for more. I am waiting and I'm excited. So it happened just like that. When you create space, your intentions change. I guess in the smaller room that I was in, I was pretty close-minded because I knew that I couldn't buy more stock. And I knew that if I had too many orders, I actually didn't have room to put them all out on the table. I would have to go down the hallway and into the kitchen. So in the back of my head, I almost didn't want many orders because it would be really hard to pack them. But when I created the space, of course, there was a couple weeks there when I was like, I've got too much space, this is a bit silly. But when I felt into that, no, I'm so excited to get more orders because I have the table space to pack them. I'm so excited to fill these shelves with new stock. The universe was like, yes, more, here you go. So that is one example of creating the space and then in return, gaining that momentum to fill the space, essentially. And I have another example of something that happened to me just recently. So I really like to think of rejection as redirection. I dealt with so much rejection in the acting industry that I developed a real, a physical kind of reaction when rejection would come up to me. I would feel so insecure. I would feel so down on myself. I would feel so rejected and like I had completely failed. So when it comes to rejection now, I try to remind myself that it is just redirection. So lately I sent this incredible email out to a company that I wanted to work with in a heap of different ways. It took me so long to write the email, but I felt really good about it. It was inspired action. And this is when you know that something is right, when it feels good. It might be hard work, yes, but it feels good. It feels exciting. It felt backed by the universe's support. I believed also that I was really good enough to fulfill these opportunities with the company, and then boom, I was hit with a rejection email. Initially, I got that physical reaction. I wanted to just think I failed. I wanted to give up. I wanted to sit in that woe is me, I've been rejected. I'm just going to take the rest of the day off work and be sad because I took so long writing that email and it's not fair because I felt like that was inspired action and I was backed by the universe. So why am I getting a rejection letter now when I was going with the flow? I was I was taking the inspired action. It didn't make sense to me. But I quickly reminded myself that this world is huge and filled with billions of people and thousands of companies that could fulfill what I wanted. I worked on not spiraling into a triggered mindset, and instead I made room for more opportunities. I then had what some people call a spiritual download. It was like my mind was all of a sudden just full of incredible ideas, people, businesses to contact, all aligned with what I initially wanted with the first company. But within minutes of working on this mindset shift, I'd already come up with a heap of reasons as to why working with the first company wouldn't have actually been right in the first place. Even though when the rejection email first came through, I was upset and I was like, how could they not see how perfect this was? The universe was like, no, Cleo, it was not perfect. It might seem that way, but just give yourself a minute to breathe and open yourself up to different possibilities. Make space. And that I did. And what followed happened really quickly and really easily. And don't get me wrong, I haven't got to the end of this manifestation yet. I haven't nailed the company that I want to work with. I haven't got that far yet. But I have got so far in the way of seeing how that company actually wasn't right for me. I was kind of seeing through rose-colored glasses, and all these other companies could be right for me. So it's like a lesson inside of a lesson there. So I want you to think about what you're manifesting at the moment. Are you wanting to get closer to your spiritual self? Well, make room in your schedule to journal, to meditate, and to do your card pulls. Are you wanting to attract signs? Well, make room in your schedule. Create space so you can just be you and be present and be calm so that you can actually see the signs that you're being sent. Are you wanting to manifest a partner? Well, make room in your closet. Sleep on one side of the bed. Create space, letting the universe know that energetically and physically you have the space and you are ready for this change. Not only are you letting the universe know in that moment, you are also kind of affirming to yourself that you are ready. You are showing yourself that you're making actionable changes, taking actionable steps to get what it is that you want. I want to go back to how I said, are you wanting to attract signs? Like, is attracting a sign something that you're manifesting right now to gain clarity or to gain that feeling of, oh, my angels are there protecting me? That's something that I was doing. And this is a really cool story. All right. So when Indigo was about 8 weeks old, Luke's nan passed away. And after she passed away, I did the most beautiful meditation where for the first time since Indigo was born, I felt really connected to my higher powers. But specifically in this meditation, I felt so connected to my feminine guardian angels. I felt and I saw these 3 big orbs of pink light, and it was so real, and it was the first time that I actually felt in another world in a meditation again since the birth. And I knew that the 3 pink orbs of light was my Nanny Waters, my grandma Valerie, and Luke's nan, Cheryl, who had just passed. It was so clear to me that those 3 women were with me and were supporting me. The meditation that I did was actually when I was just coming out of my 4th trimester, so Indigo was 12 weeks. And I came out of the meditation feeling so incredibly powerful, but I'm human, so I was second guessing as to whether I was making that whole experience up in my head. And I said, Nanny Waters, Grandma, Cheryl, can you please send me a really, really clear sign that what I just experienced wasn't just made up in my head, that you are all here protecting me and my family, that you're here, Cheryl, that you've passed on and that you are feeling okay, that, you know, Nanny Waters and Grandma, that you're still here after the birth. I haven't felt connected to you. Can you please just send me a sign? And what I want that sign to be is 3 of something, because I felt the 3 of them and I saw the 3 colors of pink. Please send me 3 of something so I know I didn't just make this experience up, just as, you know, to reaffirm to me that you are there. And then I let it go, and the weeks went on and the sign never came. And I was really upset. I was like, what the hell? Like, I really thought that was the first meditation I actually got into. I really felt that they were there, but now this sign hasn't come. So a week or so ago now, I saw Kylie Stewart, who is the spiritual healer I've had on the podcast. Specifically in that podcast, we were talking more about spirit babies. She's absolutely incredible. I saw her in December, and then I saw her again about a week ago. And among the huge conversation that we had that was so amazing, I said to Kylie, this is what's happened, and I never got my sign. And she said, well, your Nanny Waters is telling you that they sent the sign, but you're too busy. You missed it. And I was like, I know that's true, because I am too busy at the moment. I'm filling every moment with things. I'm not creating any space to just be. I'm not creating space to see signs that are being sent to me, because every second is full. And not only that, I'm not creating space for opportunities and possibilities to come in, because I'm constantly go, 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 go. So I was like, okay, so they sent it and I missed it. This is really upsetting. Like, I wonder what it was. And then Kylie said, I can see 3 of something. She's like, I'm seeing 3 almost statues or totems, like 3 silhouettes of something that you were given. And I was like, oh my gosh, hang on a minute. My mother-in-law went to Bali after her mum passed, and she came back with these 3 little Buddhas for Indy's nursery for me. They were so cute. They were the little see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil, 3 separate Buddhas to sit on Indigo's shelf to watch over her. There it was, right in front of my eyes, but I just accepted the gift. I thought, oh my God, they're so cute. Thank you for the gift. And I popped them on her shelves, and that was it. Of course that was the sign. It could not be clearer. It was 3 of something, and it was 3 little Buddhas with a beautiful message to look over my baby. Oh my God. So create space for yourself to actually see and feel and experience signs, coincidences, synchronicities. Not only that, create space so you can get creative downloads. Since then, I have been creating more space for myself where I've just been sitting. And even if Indy's here with me, instead of like reading her a book or doing something with her, I'll instead just like sit with her and look out the window. I'll just stare at her while she rolls around. And what I've experienced is really creative ideas of, like I mentioned before, companies to message, really exciting ideas for the podcast, for events coming up, for photo shoots that I want to do. It's like all these ideas are coming because I've finally made space for them to come. So do you need to make space in your mind? Do you need to make space in your physical space? It's really exciting how quickly things can change and how easily this can help you manifest. We've got to remember too that very often when we are manifesting something, we're very transfixed on that one desire, and we believe that that one desire is right for us and nothing else is right. So do you need to create space in that aspect? Do you want something really bad that you believe is perfect for you? You're not really letting the universe co-create with you. You're not really letting the universe in. You're not saying, I trust you, universe, to come in and make some changes here and there if this opportunity isn't the best opportunity for me. Because you don't want to become so controlling of that desire that you aren't open to things that may be better or may be more right for you. So in that respect, do you have enough space? Are you willing to shift? We want to be flexible. So let's go back to that example I was talking about before. Let's say you're manifesting, a big move in your career, but you're also manifesting a home. So you're using that little example to forget about the home because you're surrendering and you're going to trust that all the good energy for moving forward with this desire in your career is going to effortlessly spill over and help you manifest your dream house, right? But what you also want to do when you are laser focused on this career move, you can be laser focused on the idea of success in your career, on the idea of feeling fulfilled and proud. Visualize yourself telling your partner what an incredible day you had at work and how you got all this good feedback instead of the exact promotion or the exact opportunity, because you don't know if that promotion or that exact opportunity is going to be the best thing for you. So you can still be laser focused on the feelings that you want to feel within your career. You can still be taking the actionable steps that get you there, that feel good, inspired and backed. And know, again, I'm pulling from all different parts of this podcast now, but knowing that if something comes up as a block or you get a rejection that feels like a failure, remember that that rejection is just redirection. Oh my gosh, how exciting. I wonder where this is going to take me now. Because I was rejected here, it must mean that something else is possible and that something else really exciting is on its way. I know that when we're in the depths of being rejected, it's really hard to switch your focus to that, but it is going to help us in the long run. And as I mentioned before, I was able to really quickly, I honestly think within 20 minutes, which is a record for me, I was able to change my focus from that rejection email. I was like, it actually doesn't matter. And old me would have spent so long being upset and feeling into the rejection that I got, because that doesn't help me at all, does it? Doesn't help my manifestations. It doesn't help me as a happy person. No. So I also think that creating space and making room works in a different way that isn't as obvious. And something has come up for me recently, so I'll share my story. So the other day I put a picture of us up at the pool, and my friend Michelle said, "Where is that pool? It looks so nice. It's, this beautiful big pool and there's palm trees around it." And I said, "Oh, that's our pool in our complex. We just never really use it." And Michelle pulled me up there. She said, "Aren't you manifesting a house with a pool?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "If you aren't using your pool now, how are you going to manifest a pool if you're, not showing gratitude for the pool that you actually already have, which is really amazing?" And I was like, oh my gosh, you are so right. And I just did not see that. So for so long, there was a couple of different reasons that I wasn't using our pool. I'll tell you because it's funny. When I was really pregnant, we went to the pool and I was obviously feeling self-conscious. I was this big whale and I was floating around and I was sick. And these girls recognized me from H2O and they started like yelling out at me, and they didn't just come up and they were like, oh, we love the show. Like, can we get a photo? They were like yelling out and kind of being kids. And it made me feel really uncomfortable. So then I said to Luke, I never want to go back to the pool. But like, that's dramatic. I can go back to the pool. They're not going to be there all the time. And I think because it was my place of living, I just felt really like, I don't know, like I didn't want them yelling out at me where I live and where I want to feel really comfortable and safe. Anyway, so since then, I really hadn't used it. But Michelle is so right. How can I be manifesting our dream home with a pool if I'm not even grateful and using the pool that I have right now? So we're talking about creating space and making room, but I'm kind of doing the opposite in this way. I have the space to use this pool and to say to the universe, look how much I love this. Look how it brings me happiness to be in the pool and pretend that it's my own pool in my backyard. You know, there are opportunities there to visualize and to have a beautiful time by a pool. It's as simple as that. But I wasn't taking it. And I wondered why there was kind of blocks in, saving money toward our dream home lately. And I think that this might be a big one. So thank you, Michelle, for pulling me up on this. I have realized now that I can use this in a lot of elements in my life where it's like, if you have something and you're not using it, how do you think you're going to manifest a better one or a different one? I talked about ages ago my old car, how I wanted a new car and it wasn't manifesting. There was none of the car I wanted available. I wasn't saving money easily. And I realized it was because I wasn't grateful for the car that I had. But when I became grateful for the car that I had for 10 years, that was my first car, all of the road trips, all the times I sat in the car and it was my safety net before auditions, the money for my new car came so easily, and the car exactly that I wanted in the style, in the make, just 45 minutes down the road became available during COVID. So it goes to show, what do you have now around you that you're kind of just taking advantage of, that you're kind of just like, it's there, but whatever. What are some things around you that you need to create more space to use so that you then can maybe manifest something better or more aligned to you right now? I have two more stories that are kind of on track with this, but also a little different. These stories are a little bit all over the place, but I think they all kind of center around the topic of today's podcast. So we are, as I mentioned, wanting to manifest a dream home one day. We're not in a rush. And why I say we're not in a rush is because when we first moved into this home, I straight away started manifesting for the next home. And I was like, Cleo, what are you doing? You're in a beautiful home that you love now. It's safe. You love your neighbors. Like, everything is good about this. And you're already manifesting a new home. That was like 2 years ago now. So in that time, I have now become so grateful for my house. The other day, particularly when I was in a meditation and I was imagining one day packing up our house and moving to the new house, I was in tears. I was sobbing at the thought of leaving our house that we're in now. It's so special to me because we moved there as a married couple. We got Crumpet. She was a puppy. I've had the most magical meditations of my life in there. This house really became a place of healing for me during my pregnancy. I barely left and I felt so safe. And then, of course, we brought our baby girl home and we've had all these special memories, her nursery. And I was sobbing at the thought of one day leaving this house. And I was like, I never want to leave. I love how the light comes in the windows. I love our neighbors. I love her nursery. I feel like it's going to be interesting what happens now because I have made so much space in my heart for this house. Again, talking about making space, but just in a different way, that I am so, so grateful for this house that I'm actually thinking we will now effortlessly, hopefully, manifest, our savings a little bit better for this new house, that some ideas for the new house will come up. Maybe we'll start having conversations with our broker again. I think that is going to happen so much easier now because I am so grateful and I have really taken advantage of what we have now in our own home. But it's funny because I'm also saying I don't want to leave. But I think that, that's when we will move on and we will get opportunities. Am I making sense? Am I making any sense? You can comment in the Q&A on Spotify, or you can leave an actual written review on Apple if you're listening on Apple, and let me know if this episode is resonating, because I know I'm going here, there, and everywhere, but I think what I'm saying has grit. And I think what I'm saying is interesting. I do always try with my episodes to not just go like the cliche route. I want to give you guys real life examples that are a little bit complicated, that are a little bit messy and real, so that you can relate. So please do let me know, because it really inspires me to create more. Sometimes I'm like in the studio and I'm like, what do you guys think? And here's me reaching out for like asking for validation, which I tell you guys you don't need to do. But it's more like I just want to know that you guys are liking the content that I put out, because I'll keep putting it out if so. One more example before we wrap up today's episode, and I'll probably finish on a little inspiring chat just to get you, feeling really good and excited for what you're wanting to manifest, is I was buying Indy these new teething toys. Well, not just teething toys. I was buying Indy these new toys from Baby Bunting, and I was like, they're pretty expensive, but whatever. I'm going to get them. Got them, and I kept ruining them. I literally kept breaking the toys 3 times, 3 toys. I can't remember how I broke the first one, but the second 2 I put in the steamer, like sterilizer in the microwave, and actually blew them up. Like I blew these teething toys up. Probably should have read the instructions, didn't. But I was getting really frustrated because like obviously when you have a baby, money becomes tight. You're spending more money than you ever have. And I was getting annoyed because I was buying her these new toys and then I was literally breaking them and ruining them. And I was like, universe, like what is happening here? And then I remembered that my beautiful friend Maria gave me this huge bag of toys when I was pregnant. But of course, when I was pregnant and when I was sick, I wasn't like putting the toys out. I put them away in a cupboard because I knew that there would come a time where we wanted them. I thought, oh my God, I've got to go look at that bag of toys. In the bag of toys were the 3 toys, literally, that I bought, a little bit different, but for the purposes of what I needed them for like a rattle, teething, like 2 teething toys that she absolutely loved. So I think what the universe was trying to teach me was that right in front of me, I had the things, but I wasn't creating the space to remember that I had the things and to be grateful for the things that I already had. And I was ignoring that, and I was going out and I was spending unnecessary money, and I wasn't feeling good about spending the money. It's no wonder why energetically I wasn't feeling good about spending the money, because I already had everything that I needed at home. If I had created the space, if I had a little bit of spare time in my day to just be, I would have remembered that I had that huge bag of toys that I needed to go through and get out because Indy's nearly 6 months old. So again, a little story that's like a bit different, but I think and I hope that you will be able to grab elements of it and kind of resonate in your own way and reflect it back on your life. So, where do you need to make space? In your mind, physically, where can you make space? Where can you make room for the unlimited amount of possibilities that await you? Are you too transfixed on something at the moment? Do you need to let it go and surrender? Can you use that exercise that I talked about earlier as a little game? Show yourself how powerful you are. You can use the law of attraction just like anyone else can use the law of attraction. It's just a law. Everything that you want already exists. If you've imagined it, it already exists. It's just energy. It's not a matter of if you get it, it's just a matter of when now. And we've got to remember that time doesn't really exist in the universe. The universe doesn't care when it's going to get this thing to you. It will happen in divine timing, yes, but if you feel like it's so far away, it's so far away. If you feel like it could happen tomorrow, it could happen tomorrow. So I want you to get excited. I want you to feel into the knowing that you are worthy and deserving of the space that you allow for yourself, and that space that you allow for yourself will bring really exciting signs, coincidences, synchronicities, opportunities, people. Oh my gosh, it's all happening. I'm going to leave it there. You guys are amazing. Thank you to those who messaged me and joined my vision board challenge and write in the Facebook group. All the links are in the show notes. Join the community. It's a great place to be. I have so much exciting stuff coming up for November, December, January. really exciting stuff. I'm going to be working really hard and I feel, excited about it. Working passionately hard, of course. All right, so a big thank you to the Natural Bedding Company for sponsoring this episode, and I will see you guys in a fortnight. You're all amazing. Bye.